Hey guys, welcome back. We're gonna jump into a video that we weren't planning on doing. We thought that this horse has been absolutely beat to death. Talked to Greg the other day and he came up with a really great idea. So what are we doing today?
So we're gonna test 6.5 Creed versus 308. Some people still think 308 is a relevant cartridge. And we're going to find out or dispel that myth.
Let's jump into the video. Let's see what we're doing. All right guys, so what we're gonna do is we are going to set up cardboard at 400, 500, and 600 yards. And we are not gonna dial anything. No wind, no elevation. We're gonna hold the same point and we're gonna physically show you guys how much the drop and drift difference is between the two cartridges. This is a 20-inch 308 running 175 Sierra Match Kings at about 2650, but we're gonna chrono that and verify here in just a second.
This is a 16-inch factory AI barrel, 6.5 Creed running 130 Sierra Tip Match Kings at 2620.
So we're gonna put these on cardboard, show you guys the drop and drift, and then just to shake things up, Greg came up with a really great idea, and I'm really excited about it. So what are we doing?
Little surprise at the end of the video.
Keep watching, you're gonna wanna see it. All right guys, let's jump into this. To start this off, we're both going to show you groups at 100, show you we're actually zeroed, and get chronograph data before we take this to distance. So,
ooh, you might probably shoot first because I bet each Garmin will pick up each other's shots. Ooh, that chain's a little tight. Oh shit, you got an impact.
all right, that's 3 shots at, see, average of 2691. A little faster than I thought it was. That's kind
Good group too.
of spicy.
Okay, so yours is a little bit high, kind of for the impact, if that matters to anybody. $26.09. 26.26. 26.16.
I got you on that one.
Yours is offset. Okay, so that's 3 shots there. Mine is the far left target. Alan's the far right. My average is 26.17. Extreme spread of 17.5 and a standard deviation of 7.2. So perfectly usable.
Okay, so here is our cardboard. You can see, I don't know, it's about, what is it, 4 feet tall. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna leave our scope zeroed from the groups you just saw, and we're going to aim at this spot here at 400. So obviously we're gonna hit low because we're not gonna adjust up, but we're gonna see the difference of where the 308 and where the 6.5 is.
Okay, so we're gonna shoot 400 yards now at that aim point you see. You can see it in the spotting scope. My Kestrel is calling for 2.04 mils.
And mine is calling for 2.1.
Okay, so these should be pretty close as far as impacts go.
All right, so 400 yards, let's do it.
It's in 3.
I'm gonna do 2. I don't have enough for 3.
Okay.
Do it 3. Just out of curiosity.
Okay, there's 3. Average was 26.23 on those. So from here we can't see 500, so we're gonna have to move to the benches over here, and then we'll do the same thing on 5. Okay, here we go. Same as before. I'm gonna go for the left one. Alan's gonna take the right one. And let's see what kind of damage we do here. Okay. All right, left hand.
Right ham.
Womp, womp, womp.
Bang over the top.
Can you
right above.
It's right.
It was right.
Go left too. Or... Here you go.
Impact.
All right, guys. The plan was to show you the cardboard first, but it turns out that Greg's an absolute savage and is very excited to dig into the hams. So what we wanted to do was show the impact energy, the kind of the force exhibited on impact, right? And we took a couple shots and Greg lost control and took a lot of shots. I'm here cut this.
I fully intended on shooting one shot to see the damage of what the tip match kings would do. I shot my deer last year with that same barrel with 130 Burger OTMs, and it was a perfectly clean hole, dead on sight, didn't move. So I kind of was curious what the damage would do with a true match bullet.
And the 6.5 did what my experience has exactly mimicked here. It took a chunk out. And so we'll roll that footage. So we thought we missed my first shot. I took a shot, Greg gave me a hard time. You guys heard that on camera. Turns out I didn't actually miss. So we reviewed the footage and it just zipped through. It did very little damage. I was kind of...
Whether that's a bullet deal or, I mean, it's a similar bullet. They're both match kings. Mine are tipped. His are just the old standard
Sierra
Sierras.
match king, yep.
Whether I hit some bone in here, maybe. Unfortunately, like I said, didn't have the self-control to leave the one shot. And maybe his went straight through the meat. I don't know. You can spin yours around. I mean, the backside you can see, still lots of meat damage on the backside.
That's good ham. So now we'll move into the actual drop.
We're good.
So we held this same aiming point for all of our shots. Now this is 400 yards, and this is our group down here. So our entire spread is about 3.5 inches. So this is all 4 shots. 2 of mine, 2 of his.
3 of mine.
Oh yeah, 3. So 5 shots total. We got the 2 308s, and then we got the 6.5s. So very similar drop, very similar drift. What you saw with the impact of ham is that the 6.5 actually hit a lot harder. So what we're gonna do is jump over to the 5 and the 6, show you guys the same deal. We took our shot at 400, we're moving to 5. It looks like we are gonna have to dial in order to stay on the cardboard, so we're both gonna come up 1 mil. Or 1.5, we're gonna come up 1.5. Yep. So, still not holding any wind.
1.5, yeah. 1.5, no wind. Okay, let's see it.
Take some leg out of this, I was just thinking. Yeah, you'd think it's our first day doing this.
Oh shit.
All right. Looks like it's exactly 2 mils wide, so.
Where were you holding?
Dead center.
Okay. 26, 24 average on those.
All right, so here we are at the 500-yard line. We held our aiming point right at the top of the sheet here. The dots on the other side, the wind folded this in half, so we just held it. So here's the 2 shots from the 6.5 Creed. Here's the 2 shots from the 308. 3 shots. 3 shots from the Creed, sorry. 3 shots from the Creed, 2 from the 308, we're starting to see that drop difference. Now bear in mind that this is with the 308 running a little over 100 feet per second faster. So we're starting to see that separation show
Not a ton.
up.
Whatever a Sharpie is, 4 inches, 5 inches, or whatever the tape measure says.
I still have that, I think.
It's in your front pocket. Or is that dip? There you go.
So this is 500 yards. This is a right at a 3-inch group for Greg. It's a 1.5 for my 308, with a total drop difference being about 5.5 inches. So both groups in combination
Still
are
only
just,
7 inches.
Just over 7 inches, so just over 1 MOA.
Yeah.
So, but we are starting to see that drop. We'll jump over to the 600. We'll see how much that's even further exaggerated, especially compared to a normal length, what you would typically buy in barrel length for 6.5 Creed.
This is a 16-inch 6.5 Creed. So it's missing 4 inches from what the 308 has on it.
Yep. Yeah. Which is significant at these lengths. So let's jump over to the 6 and see what it looks like.
So we'll move out to 6 now. My Kestrel here says I need 4.2. So we're both 2 mils up from 0. 600 yards.
600 yards.
We're gonna hold at the aim point on it. All right, 6.5 versus 308. No dial, 600 yards, no wind.
Partial dial?
Well, partial dial. Effectively not dialing.
Okay.
Okay, mine calls for 4.2.
Mine's going for 4.3.
4.3, okay. Oh, fucking piss.
Right ammo.
Yes, no. Pause. All right, 2 more at 6. That shot was 26.32. $26.38. $26.23. Average $26.29. Extreme spread of 20.
So we got these lined out, right? Dope's pretty close. Let's grab the other 6.5 with a 24-inch barrel. Just to see.
Okay.
Let's do it. We're doing 2, yeah? 2 mils?
Yeah.
All right, dialing 2 on a 24-inch.
Yep. Full length 6.5 Creed.
Okay, so we've got a couple of rounds down to 308, which is pretty fast load for the 175s. We've got a couple shots down range with the 6.5 Creed with an exceptionally slow velocity because of the barrel length, right? 16 inches versus 20. Now this is my 6.5 Creed with a 24-inch barrel, so we threw it down with normal velocity ammo just so we can kind of exaggerate the difference downrange. We'll run down with the camera, show you guys the groups, show you the differences, and compare. All right, so we are out at this 600-yard line, and we actually had a dial. So on the 500, we weren't going to be able to stay on cardboard, so we came up 1.5 mils.
Yeah.
And we took those shots. So the drop, as far as what you see, where they hit on, is actually an additional, almost 3 feet below that. I mean, it would have completely missed the target.
It was 120-ish inches. About for both of our guns from basically point of aim if we didn't dial up at all. So we would have not even been close to being on cardboard. So we did dial 2 up. We dialed 2 mils up and then held here because we were both right about 4 mils of drop, which is double this double this distance.
Yep. And so these are our shot groups here. Here's the 2 for the 308. Here's the 3 for his 16-inch 6.5 Creed. And so what you're seeing is really similar drop. I don't really want to account for drift because we had no wind, but there's no wind today. I kind of felt it on my face once or twice, but almost no wind. So this is the target that we brought out a normal 24-inch 6.5 Creed running the 140 in the upper 2750. So held that same aiming point, dialed up to 2 mils just like we did with the other 2 rifles. This is the difference in the drop between the normal 6.5 and the other 2. So from Greg's 6.5 to my 6.5 was
8 inches.
16.
It's missing 8 inches though. A barrel.
Oh yeah. So he's running 16-inch versus 24-inch, so 8 inches less, but the drop is 16 inches different. So this is the difference between your normal off the shelf.
I'll trade 8 inches for 16 at 600 yards though.
Nobody's trading inches. We can't afford that. So this is the difference. So in this particular test, this 16-inch 6.5 is actually pretty close to a 308. This surprised me a little bit.
20-inch 308. Yeah. If I could run maybe the 140s at a slower speed, the BC would help more. But really, I think speed until past 600 yards.
Yeah, that's when the 6.5 really starts to shine, is when we break this threshold of about 600 or 700 yards. Right. But still 15-inch difference between my 6.5 and my 308 versus my 308 and his 6.5. So pretty incredible. We got my 6.5 Creed, I shot a 2.5-inch group. The 308, we shot about a 2-inch group. And Greg's 6.5 was...
I just shoots a 3-inch group everywhere, apparently.
Yeah, right at 4 inches. So well within sub-MOA all the way out to 600 on every group we shot. Well within MOA. So the ethical accuracy debate for hunting, I think, is at this point pretty irrelevant for competent shooters.
Yeah, most people, I personally wouldn't take a shot past 400, but had I did anything for wind, any input for wind, and known my elevation or dialed my elevation drop, I would have no problem hitting a deer with that gun, which is really all that gun is for. That gun is my short, stubby deer gun for getting in and out of blinds, inside 400 yards. As you'll see on the ham, plenty capable.
Yep. And something else worth noting is one of the things we hear at the shop a lot is, well, just hold the top of the back. Okay, top of the back of a deer. Your average deer height is 18 to 22 inches. Based off of that aim point, 18, here's 22. So we'll go on the large side. That's 22 inches. So if you aim top of the back, that is a complete miss and not by a small margin.
Yep.
Okay, so the hunters out there who think at 300, 400, 500 yards that the top of the back method works, I would argue that that is actually unethical, and you need to be dialing your dope at these distances.
Yeah. You should be hitting the deer where you want, not just hitting the deer.
So, you know, somebody in the comments is gonna argue, oh, well, I zero my deer rifle at 200. Keep in mind that the difference from your zero at 200 to 300 is gonna be minimal. So could you possibly make an ethical shot at 300? Absolutely. Out here though, keep in mind that we dialed 2 mils into our dope. This target is about 2 mils wide. So, is that even on camera?
No.
No.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, you want the tape?
Yeah.
Oh, fumble.
Yeah, I ain't taking steps for it. Guys, keep in mind that we dialed 2 mils into our dope. This target was about 2.2 wide, I think is what we measured it at. That puts...
That's your average Instagram target.
That is our actual point from drop. So, Greg, why don't you stand down here for height reference? There's a lot of people, for whatever reason, believe that the bullets are only dropping 6 inches, 10 inches, 12 inches.
No.
Greg, could you point to that low group for me?
The low group, yep.
So if we didn't dial at all, which in this particular case, we don't have cardboard this tall, this is our actual aiming point. That was our impact. The drop at these distances is significant. So...
Oh, your tape measure's not long enough.
That's what she said.
So the drop is more than 6 feet. This is a 6 foot tape measure, and it's not long enough. So 6 feet. It's more than 6 feet of drop. Top of the back at these distances is a no-go. It doesn't work. So, all right, guys. To kind of close this out, you know, me and Greg were kind of discussing this, and we're not. At least I'm not. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but I got a soft spot in my heart. I kind of cut my teeth in this whole game with a 308. Obviously, I still have a custom 308, but I think that we agree that a 16.5 6.5 Creed replaces what a full-size 308 does.
do, yeah. Yeah.
And keep in mind, we're running identical suppressors as well, so this barrel length difference is running, I mean, all things considered, the same.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's essentially the same overall length minus the difference in the barrel. But the 6.5 Creed, you get a free 4 inches. So you could even run a shorter can off of this. This is a 9.5 inch long can. You could run a 7 inch long can, have something even a little bit shorter. I have a picture of this gun next to my girlfriend's dad's old Boomer 30-06 deer hunting gun, and it is the same length, but it's a 24 inch barrel with no suppressor. And in the Midwest, at least around us, this gun does everything that your full length 308 will do as far as energy goes, capability, accuracy.
And it does with 30% less recoil. So it's all, there's nothing but positives here.
Right.
And when compared to a full length Creed, right, with that 24 inch, it wasn't even close. I mean, you guys saw the drop and drift difference. Well, drop difference, but
Drop
really wasn't much
difference,
for drift today. But
Right.
so I'm of the opinion, especially after doing this test, I believe 100% that the 6.5 Creed is today what the 308 was 25 years ago. You have to have one cartridge, right? It doesn't do anything exceptional, but it does everything really well. I think that this is a really good platform to fall into.
Yeah, I agree. I was actually really surprised with the energy on
the
target
ham.
at 400.
Yeah, it's
I really was. With it being 100 feet per second slower and a 45 grain lighter bullet, I really was surprised at the energy that it still had on there.
And that's something else worth noting too, is that this 308 is a lot faster than we thought it was going to be. I mean, 100 feet per second difference between these two rifles. And
originally, we thought they were going to be the same, about the same velocity or pretty close.
But very similar performance, even though we had the extra velocity. So that streamlined bullet has just proven itself. So, anything to add?
The 308's dead. Sorry,
308's
Jason.
Dead. Yep. So at this point, guys, please like, subscribe, follow, do the things, leave your comments, tell us your thoughts. What do you think? 308 versus 6.5. Hash it out in the comments. Let's see what your guys' thoughts are.
What's your argument for the 308?
What is your argument for the 308? Let's hear it, guys. We'll catch you next time.